Imagine a city that is just so corrupt that divine justice involves literally throwing garbage at it in public.
Yeah, not exactly a subtle approach.
No, definitely not. Welcome to today's deep dive. We're looking at a stack of notes you sent us on an ancient text, the biblical book of Nahum, specifically chapter 3.
Right.
And our mission today is to figure out why this incredibly graphic, violent destruction of the city of Nineveh completely clashes with our modern rules of human rights.
Because we usually like our accountability to be, well, polite.
Yeah, exactly.
But this text forces us to confront some very uncomfortable realities about how we view justice and, ultimately grace.
Polite is definitely thrown out the window here. I mean, reading through these notes, Nahum paints a terrifying picture. He calls Nineveh a bloody city. Yeah, the crack of whips, charging chariots, and there are literally so many corpses, people are stumbling over them.
And the judgment gets deeply personal, too. It's not just a military defeat. God promises to lift Nineveh's skirts over her face, throw filth at her, and basically make her a public spectacle.
Okay, let's unpack this, because looking at that through a modern lens, it feels extreme.
Oh, for sure.
We are constantly debating a sinner's human rights today. Like, the popular mantra is, hate the sin, but love the sinner. We assume innocence. Even if someone is guilty, we want to protect their basic dignity.
Right.
So publicly shaming and exposing Nineveh like this, it almost feels like God is crossing a line.
Well, what's fascinating here is you have to look at the exact nature of what Nineveh was actually doing. They weren't just slipping up or making casual mistakes.
But so it wasn't just standard corruption?
No, not at all. The notes highlight that Nineveh was actively deceiving and selling entire nations through violence and harlotry. I mean, they were ruthlessly exploiting the vulnerable on a massive systemic scale.
Oh, wow. So they were stripping other people of their dignity for profit.
Exactly. So the punishment is actually mirroring the crime. The exposure of their shame is a perfect match for the hidden abuses they inflicted on others.
I see.
They relied on this, protective veneer of power and wealth, so divine justice forcefully strips that away. It's the horrific reality of their own actions simply being turned back on them.
Which raises an obvious defense. A city like Nineveh might think, sure, we do terrible things, but we're too big to fail.
Right, like we're invincible.
Yeah, like we have the military, we have the money.
And the text anticipates that exact arrogance. Nahum points them to historical precedent, a city called Nahum, or Thebes.
Okay.
Thebes had a literal rampart of water, the sea as its wall, and massive allies like Cush and Egypt.
So the ultimate fortress, basically.
Exactly. But even Thebes fell. Its leaders were bound in chains. Its infants were dashed in the streets. Nahum uses Nahum to prove that absolutely no amount of wealth or military might can shield a society from the consequences of absolute corruption.
Man, reading that level of devastation makes me think of walking near a deadly cliff edge, and suddenly this terrifying, ear-piercing siren starts blaring right next to you.
That's a great analogy.
Like, it's shocking, it physically hurts your ears, but maybe that harshness is the whole point. It's loud and terrifying specifically to shock you into stepping back from the edge.
Yeah, that hits on two core biblical reasons for this absolute judgment outlined in your sources. First, humans cannot endlessly shift the blame.
Right.
Eventually, people must bear the consequences of their hidden sins. But the second reason connects directly to your cliff siren. The devastation is described in such terrifying terms because God actually does not want anyone to meet this end.
Wait, really? So the extreme terror of the judgment isn't just about punishment?
No, it's actually a mechanism for prevention. The severity is designed to provoke repentance. God doesn't take sin lightly, but he doesn't delight in destruction either.
That's a huge shift in perspective.
It is. Your notes point out that in the overarching Christian narrative, God ultimately didn't overlook human sin, but laid that terrifying iniquity upon Christ. The judgment is real, but a path of grace was open to absorb it.
So, bringing this right back to you listening, these notes ask some pretty piercing personal questions. Are you hiding compromises or, excusing certain sins just because they seem normal in your workplace or your social circle?
Because we all like to think we're the good guys.
We do. But it's dangerously easy to build our own little walls of justification, just like Nineveh.
It demands we look at the true weight of our actions and the profound costs required to wipe the slate clean.
Right. Think about that blaring siren on the cliff edge. If ultimate justice is truly as severe and terrifying as the fall of Nineveh, and grace was designed to absorb all of it, how does understanding the sheer terror of that judgment change the way you value forgiveness in your daily life?